La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. There's no God but Allah. La ilaha illallah Muhammad al-Mustafa. Muhammad is his messenger. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. There's no God, there's no God but Allah.
I wear my hijab because I want people to judge me for who I am rather than what I look like. I don't like it when, I don't think any person likes it when somebody likes them just for how they look like. They should like them for our personality, and that's what we strive for as human beings. So this is like something extra there so that we're able to get to it sooner, so that people like us for our personality rather than, you know, how good I look. In a way, it's always talking about oppression and, you know, that allowing for, you know, they think that the men force women to wear that kind of hijab. But in reality, it's not at all that way. And unfortunately, you know, they're not, our society isn't educated enough, and we have to educate them and to allow for them to, you know, by our actions and by our faith and by our belief to, you know, erase all these misconceptions. God says that women should wear scarves is that back before the actual, you know, Islam came and whatnot, women who wore scarves were royalty, and they were the ones that didn't have to like clean and, you know, vacuum, do whatever. That was a symbol of royalty, and therefore after Islam, what we wear every day is a symbol of royalty. I don't have to do anything if I don't want to.
I don't think the hijab has ever held me back from doing what I want.
You know, the fortunate thing about me and my career is that the hijab hasn't ever held me back. You know, I'm an architect, and actually the hijab allows me and pushes me to be more forward. The number one thing that I get from clients, for example, is that men clients love the fact that I wear the hijab because they can focus on work rather than the fact that a woman is in front of them. You know, I'm not a distraction for them. Instead, they're more engaged in business, they're more engaged into how educated I am, they're more engaged into my soul and making sure that, you know, work and progress gets done rather than, you know, a distraction, I almost want to say. So it's always been, I've always had the upper hand because I've worn a hijab. My message to those girls who are afraid to be different by wearing the scarf is that different is good. If you're unique, that's what makes you stand out from the crowd, and that's what we all need as human beings.
I tell them you should wear your hijab. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being different. There's nothing wrong with showing who you really are, and it's part of your religion.
When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded the woman to wear the hijab, the cover of pride, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to cover her decency. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to say to the women, قل لأزواجك وبناتك ونساء المؤمنين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, first of all, to begin with those who are near. And this is something that we need to comprehend and understand. How many people seem to give da'wah to other people and they seem to forget those who are near. They forget that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, "O you who believe, save yourself and your family from the hellfire." Begin with yourself, then your family. قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا النَّبِيُّ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, say to your wives, your daughters, and the believing women to cover up. My dear brothers and sisters, allow us to think of the way the Sahabiyat, the believing women, how they responded to the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When this verse of the Quran descended on the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, The men took this verse and they went and started to speak to their wives and their daughters and their neighbors and their relatives about this. Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha has said, I have not seen anyone respond like the women of Al-Ansar. I have not seen anyone as pious as they are. Straight away, when they heard this verse of the Quran, they started to tear the sheets and cover themselves. They understood that a Muslim must submit to Allah. These women from Al-Ansar, they didn't say, let us consult this affair. Let us think about it. Is this true? They straight away responded. These are the believing women. They know what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever Allah commands them, there's a benefit for them. They did not hesitate. ما كان لمؤمن ولا مؤمنة إذا قضى الله ورسوله أمرا أن يكون الخيرة من أمرهم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, it is not befitting, it is not right, it is not suitable. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or His Messenger commands a certain issue, for them to have a choice. To say, well, think about this. It is not befitting, it is not right upon a believing man or a believing woman, when they hear a command from Allah or His Messenger, to have a choice. Because the Muslims understand that if they were to respond to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger, it gives them life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, يا أيها الذين آمنوا استجيبوا لله وللرسول إذا دعاكم لما يحييكم. Listen to this beautiful verse of the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, O you who believe. Who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addressing? Us, my dear brothers and sisters. Stajibu, respond to Allah and His Messenger, to that which gives you life. When we respond to Allah and His Messenger, we become alive. And wallahi al-azim, if we don't respond to Allah and His Messenger, we are dead people. We are like zombies. Our body is functioning, but our soul is dead. The soul has no connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For that reason, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, مَثَلُ الَّذِي يَذْكُرُ اللَّهِ وَالَّذِي لَا يَذْكُرُ اللَّهِ مَثَلُ الْحَيِّ وَالْمَيِّتِ. The example of the person that remembers Allah and the person that does not remember Allah, like the living and dead. Islam has come to lift the status and position of the woman. She is not a commodity. She's not a product. That every time they want to sell something, they will get a woman to present it. A'udhu billah. My dear sister, you are a diamond. For that reason, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who knows best, has commanded you to cover up. Because Allah loves you and cares about you. And Allah wants what is right for you. Allah is the one who created you. And Allah knows what benefits you. Allah knows what benefits you. Are you going to respond to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Are you going to be of those people who are hesitant because people are laughing at them? They laughed at all the prophets. They said that all the prophets are insane.
وقل للمؤمنات يغضضن من أبصارهن ويحفظن فروجهن ولا يبدين زينتهن إلا ما ظهر منها.
If you ask her, why does she dress that way, all covered up, in a world that gives it all away, proudly she would say, I am a Muslim. دين الإسلام ديني والأرض غير ديني محمد اللي هديني نور الإيمان. دين الإسلام ديني والأرض غير ديني محمد اللي هديني نور الإيمان. دين الإسلام ديني والأرض